Hey, good morning, guys. This is Simon with Trade and Perform Coaching, and I am setting up the levels for ES this morning. Um, so let's kind of go from there and NQ and ES, and we'll take it from there. So what you've seen here on NQ is I've already set up the virgin levels. So what I'm doing is I'm just looking at levels that have been untested, that are prior days low or Globex low, and I put a line on there off the hourly. Simple as that, right? So next thing I want to go through is, so I know I'm opening here today, right? So I am interested in the dips. So without updating the chart further, right, the first thing I'd want to do is, well, what's my most conservative levels below that I would look for? So I believe in using the same levels again over and over. So I know I'm trading here. I'm going to mark it like this. This is my mark. We'll make that color blue. Okay, so now I'm just going to look underneath, and now I'm going to take this. I'm underneath here, so I'm going to go like this. One, two, three, and you'll already see overnight, right? See how once we cleared into this started using this area as support, and then I would adjust, right? So I see that this whole area becomes support. So now that 21,862, I would like to trade underneath it. I can already see that they traded underneath 21,682 overnight and found responsive buyers. So I would like to see them trade underneath 6,862, recapture it, and push higher. That would be my first level. The deeper the pullback, the better, right? So I'm looking back to the left. This is still valid for me, right over here. This is still valid. So what you're going to see is, that 931 to 862, that's just become a whole support resistance area. You can see how the structure worked all the way around that based off of prior days highs and lows. And remember, when we get to our final picture, we have very specific setups that we're looking to take. So for me, when I'm looking at this, I'm not blindly going to go long 931, 910, 883, and 862. I'm going to look for my pattern setup from that level when it gets closer, right? If you, so some traders go, well, why don't you just wait for the virgin levels? Well, you could sit there and never get the virgin level, right? And by the way, guys, we need to add a virgin level. This is a Globex low for today and unlikely to get violated again. That was the open. That will be a very juicy spot if we get underneath that 21,745. Okay, so again, just going back and looking to the left, prior lows underneath this area, right? So you'll see how we ran right into this resistance right here at 21,997. But I'm not going to put it on my chart today until we make an impulse move above it, and then we come back. Then the 21,997 and a quarter would get added. Remember, these are just support charts. They're not target charts. I'm always targeting these levels up above. So going back and looking, let's see what else I have available. This, right? Remember, these have already been traded over. I'm just adding levels to it. This. You can see why yesterday into that 21,720, right? So imagine how I'm using this, right? I know these levels are important. Coming back here and looking, I can see that we have all these levels being built in: 726, 687, 651, 617, right? I know that these levels are coming in, and I can see. So what do I know about these? I know these were prior days lows and Globex lows. It means a major effort was put in at that point to get an inflection point, right? So if that's what I'm looking at, right? I know. Oh, now I'm looking for the bar patterns, the ALGOs to fire, things that tell me that hey, I'm in the right location, right? And sometimes if I get an algo right off these levels, guys, I'll just take them, right, when they're coming in. But specifically, what I want to do, and let me be very clear, I want to lose a level. Like, I'd love to lose that 21,862 and recapture it and push back up. That would look like, let me just take a second and show you what that would look like. What that would look like on a prior day would be this. So I'm trying to find a specific instance. Okay, see this right over here? I'm going to erase these, so I'm going to make them a different color. Green. Okay. Do I have anything else? Okay. See these two lows? See how it came down and so I lose it the first time, but I don't close behind it. I'm talking about this 21,968. I just wick up out of there, right? But the second one, I actually lose that level. See how the point of control closes below 21,968, close back up, and you go, well, Simon, by the time you see that on the hourly, it's pretty late, right? You've gone from 21,949 to 22,062. I agree, but once you break it down to smaller time frames, either the algos in the room or a 15-minute time frame, you'll see this trap much earlier. And the point is the RR that's available. Hopefully you would have been long around, let's just call it 21,970 area, right? And it's going to run from 970 to 070 to 170, 200 points of trap once this occurs. It's really, really big. Anyways, I wanted to show that. So still, again, looking back to the left relative to where we are, right? You will see, so we're trading up here, right? And you will see, again, I have all these levels in here, and I'll show you how I refine them in just a second. And what I want to see a couple of things, because you're going to be like, well, wait a minute, yeah, 50 million billion lines in there. I think I got most everything that's down here. Well, that's below where we're trading right now, so I'm not going to even worry about it, way below. So now if you look at that, okay, so had I done that, had I made those, so obviously I'm making them in the morning because that's where we're trading, but had I made these setups had I made these setups last night and these had already been here, right? Let's go see how they would have traded. That's the best way to tell. So the first thing is, let's go look at how it treated each level. So if you come back into the chart, and I'm going to erase this for now. Okay, so now all you see is the levels off the hourly, right? So now when you come back to the left, this is Sunday evening, right? So look how each level is getting tested. So we gap above a level, trade to the level, get above the level, hold it, trade above the level, backside test, hold it, get above the levels, right? Notice it's getting above the level, ALGO fires off the level, continuation, right? Come back, green bar up on the ALGO, fires, right? Comes back to the level. You don't get you get a tweezer's bottom, but we don't get an ALGO that fires the green bars late. You'd had to known to take that, right? But you'll see once it gets back above the level again, out comes back, ALGO fires, that's the green bar, right? Again, we come back to the level, you'll see it came right back into that 62. The ALGO is the second bar here, is that green bar with the yellow dot, lifts, right? See how it's coming right back to those former areas. You can see it's pivoting off of all those former highs and lows, right? And we trade with the bias to the long side, right? Comes back, backside test, pushes. We're at the current high, backside test, pushes. I don't have an ALGO coming off of that yet this morning. Back to the ALGO, pushes. So that's how that works, and I'm looking for an ALGO. I only need a few good trades each day, right? So there's one piece of that process. And now what I'm doing in addition to that, so I don't have 50 million trades, is I'm looking and I go, okay, so if I had to choose a space, well, that tweezer's bottom right there, I'd love to see 21, as I said earlier, 662 to 86, traded behind, recaptured, and pushed back up. That's probably our balance area. That's probably our balance area for the day. And obviously shorts will need to get underneath the structure here that we put in overnight in the European session for the push back up. And then targets are up above tweezers top, these wicks, and then these wicks up here, targets to the upside, right? So obviously that's how I do it. Let's go do ES really quick. It's the same process, right? So take ES. I need to remove some of my trades from there, so let's do this trade. Don't show order fills. There we go. That was from a trade earlier in Asia. And let's erase all the lines and do the exact same thing. So what I'm looking for, here's my high. So here's my current high. I prefer blue to yellow. So now I'm going to look at everything underneath, right? So just going to take my little line drawing and I'm going to go, okay. So these would only come into play once we trade above. So this would not have been here last night. You can see that they were clearly resistance points when we got into it. Again, these are all targets up, which now become support levels. Here, here, here. Here. This. So remember, I'm just looking at it from one perspective. I'm not trying to find shorts. This, and I doubt we take out that low from yesterday. Today, if we do, I'll come back and put in new levels. So now we can go look and make sure I didn't miss anything. There, that's what I would have for today. Okay, so now I'm going to come back and go to my Renko chart. There we go. And now you can see how they traded from, and again, I have my trades up here, so let's just get rid of that. Trade, there we go. I had a very nice long out of here last night. So now if you look, remember it has to recapture the level, then it becomes support, right? So you'll see we kind of made it back to that 90, we gapped over the 91, they tried to make it back, didn't quite make it there. Lifts, comes into resistance, new resistance equals support. Again, all this is resistance, comes back to resistance, into support. This is a divergent, I'll go up on 8 tick, right? Launches. And then again, you'll see here, we get over the support, green bar launches, green bar stuff launches. No algo here, unfortunately. You had this, it just landed in the middle. Sometimes that happens, no big deal at 4 a.m. And now you can see where we are. And so if you ask me again, like, hey, where would be your favorite spot? Well, I would look for an algo off of any of these lines this morning, right? But the other thing I would want off the hourly is I'd like to take out this swing low. So I would add a level right here, which is this tweezer's bottom right there at 60.13. And those become now my total levels. And you would have seen I would have done the same thing here. So maybe I would have caught that. Once I got this and pushed away, I would have added that 60.13 So now that you see that, you can see at 60.13 maybe we catch that green one now. Yeah, we do. So that's how that got added at 4 a.m. as you had that tweezer's bottom. Came in, there's the algo up long for the ripper to the upside. Anyways, that's how I do it, guys. I hope that helps. Those are the levels for today, and I'll post them on my Twitter account. If you have any questions, you can email me at TRADENPERFORM, TRADE, the letter N, perform@gmail.com. I hope everyone has a kick-ass day.